my dear Taurus. This is your love and spirituality reading for the month of September 2018 with me, Queen of Cups Tarot. We are entering Virgo seasons, so don't forget to say happy birthday to all Virgos out there. And I read for the signs in order of most liked videos, so don't forget to hit the thumbs up button for your sign. Yes, this reading can go both ways. So if I tell you that you are feeling or acting in a certain way, it can be in the reverse, that the person you are dealing with is feeling and acting in that way. Then it's just the same, it's just different castings to the different roles by the universe. So for this reading I used the Druidcraft Tarot by Philip and Stephanie Cargom and illustrated by Will Worthington. So I will start shuffling your cards. And when I open your deck here, I see Four of Cups and the Devil. So Four of Cups and the Devil. So Four of Cups is definitely a situation where we are not fully satisfied. Things didn't go exactly as we wanted, or it might be even that we are bored with the things that's being offered to us, or we kind of have some kind of disbelief in it. And of course, if we believe that people are out to get us, we might not really appreciate the love that's being brought to us. Okay, if we think that we are dealing with a predator of some sort, of course we are going to say no to the offering that's being made in this situation. So what is this situation telling you? When you are scared of something, when you're very fearful of something, like they are like this and they have done this to me, or they will do this to me, it's usually that we are very scared of some entity inside of ourselves. It doesn't mean that we have like evil inside of us, not at all. It just means that we have kind of shunted out some of our powers, some of our own powers. So for example, if you're really scared of getting, found an example here. If you're very scared of getting hurt like emotionally by a partner, for example, it's probably because you have not so good boundaries when you are out with people. With the Four of Cups, the four is connected to the Emperor. It's like having a castle or an empire, a comfort zone, where people are doing things in the way that you like them to be done, and no one is offending you. So it's like, I need to be treated in this way. In other case, I won't like it, or I can't do it. So it's very easily in this case to develop almost like a phobia. I can't meet like a lover because they will be out to get me, or I can't do this job which I love because people will think I'm not great at it. It's so many different things, and all is going back to how do you feel. So if you have problems with dealing with your emotional life, for example, dealing with particular emotions, for example, change, surprises, things being out of control, or people not loving you in the way you wanted them to, if you have a hard time dealing with the feelings that comes out of that, you might want to limit your way of living or not taking in new ideas. So what we have here is failure to communicate. Some man you just can't reach. I think that is must be Guns N' Roses. I don't know the song, but it might be Civil War, maybe. I will make a note because I will soon forget. Guns N' Roses, failure to communicate. And why you can't communicate with these people, because they don't want to hear what you have to say, because what you're saying is probably something that they don't want to see with themselves. So, for example, if you want to talk with your boyfriend about your feelings and they don't want to talk about their feelings with you, it's probably because they have a lot of them and they don't like to have those feelings. They want to be on top, on control, and not feeling anything. So if you have been told your whole life you shouldn't cry, or you shouldn't be like this, or you shouldn't be like that, of course you're going to try with awareness, like you know that you're trying, or subconsciously you will try to not have feelings. And if someone comes and wants to talk about your feelings, you will act towards them as the people that said that you shouldn't have feelings acted towards you. So probably rather rude. And here comes the devil. So this is something like your natural behavior that you have denied yourself. Because you are scared of what kind of feeling that will bring. Maybe shame, for example, if you show your emotions, or regret if you say to someone that I love you and they didn't love you back. So whatever, it's not the person themselves that's the problem, it's the emotions that they are waking up in you. So with the Four of Cups, we just want like certain kind of emotions, and the other one we doesn't want to have. But this card is rather good because it gives us an opportunity to see how we are limiting ourselves and what kind of feelings we are scared of. What we are scared of. So we can stay with those feelings, digest them, and heal ourselves and make our inside into a beautiful space where we can handle anything. Okay, whatever another person does, says, you still love yourself, you take care of yourself, you ponder off if they were right in saying this, but you don't do it out of guilt, or there's something wrong with you, or you should be in another kind of way. You just think of it, okay, so they said this to me, that whatever they might have said, like you were scared of being not good at your job, and someone is criticizing you for your job, and then you're feeling, okay, are they right? Is it something that I would need to improve? Is it something that I don't really see? And you look through it and you think, well, maybe they are right. Maybe I could put more attention into this area. Maybe that would be beneficial for my contribution. But maybe they were not entirely right, because too much of that would actually prevent me from doing this other thing that's also very important. So you just take the things that's necessary, like from a very reasonable, logical point of view, and not like, oh, they were right, so I need to be ashamed, or they were wrong, so I need to hate them forever and see how insignificant and, unnecessary they were. So you just, hear the words. You don't make like a big turmoil inside of yourself. You don't take it personally. You just take it as like, it could be a good advice, or it could be just bollocks, and it doesn't matter which it is. I will find out. Okay, you don't have to become all upset and question yourself, question the other person, become all dramatic, just because someone comes with a shady remark. Maybe you feel that it's shady, but it might be something that they feel sincerely, that they might point out your shadow for you here. But the thing is, don't take it personal. Don't betray yourself in this situation by thinking, yes, if there's something wrong with me, I have no value. That's not at all like that. You have a value just by existing, just by being alive. You're holding the grid of earth. Your task that you had when you came with this specific energy that was needed in exactly this place. So you are perfect the way you are, like perfectly flawed. You don't have to be in any other way, but you can always take like advices if someone comes, even if it feels like they do it because they are rude. They don't have to be rude. It might be that they are pointing out something and they are scared of saying this to you, so the energy might feel like they are rude, but actually they are fearful. So it's different things I'm feeling here, but mostly it is about you being able to love yourself, so you don't have to feel that the world is so fearful. Because when you love yourself, you respect yourself, you take good care of yourself, you have good healthy boundaries, it doesn't really matter what another person does. It's like you can be okay with whatever happens, because you are created like a paradise inside yourself. So that was just the first card. I call the divine with love and light, and here we have Six of Cups and Cernunnos. So it's something from your childhood that might reappear. Fear of criticism, for example, or for not being loved or worth loving. It might also be that there's a past life relationship that wants to enter your life and it make you like really scared. Okay, and remember that the reading can go both ways, so it doesn't have to be you that's so freakishly scared. If you feel like, no, I'm calm, so that might be the impact that you have on others, like you come as their worst nightmare, okay, from the past. So sometimes we can be very amazed by other people's reactions, how scared they can be of for example, if I try to say to someone, like a teacher in my boys' school, like he would need more of this kind of education, they take it as criticism. But I'm not focusing on what has been wrong in the past. I just want things to be done right in the future. So it's not, but it can be very frightening for them if I say stuff like that. So I really have to mind myself and my words so I don't freak people out. Okay, and here we have the wheel with Sernuno. So again, it's really something karmic, something repeating that has repeated. It's like you have gone all this lap and now you're back to like this point, this knot, this karma, this thing. It's like a drama that needs to play out its way. And every time, every lap, you learn something new. And it's something about childhood. It's something about your own value. It's something about the things that you have hidden from yourself or that you are so fearful you can't even investigate it. So it's limiting your life a little bit. You don't... it's a lot of things that you don't do because you don't want this to repeat and you don't want to face your fears. But if you do, you will become so much stronger, because when you have faced your fear head on, you will see that it actually was like a road sign for you. Like, come here, investigate this. This is your next step of your journey. This is what you need to grow. And you were kind of running, screaming in the other direction because you remember this. Probably you remember your mission and you know that it's going to be hard. So you don't want to do it. But, well, here it comes. And with the wheel, it's like divine forces working in your life. The planet is in a certain position. Your guides are positioned in a certain way. People that's destined for you are being placed in certain position in your life, like having different roles in your life. So everything is set for the drama to begin. And you remember, because this was one of your mission when you came down, so you just don't want to you remember that it's going to be hard, so you might be really, really scared because of this. Okay. So the wheel is 10, and then we have Cernunnos, that's 15. 1 plus 5 is also 6. You had the 6 of Cups. So it's it might be some part of you that you were denied to express. It might have been like wit, wonderful wisdom. It might have been capacity that you had, wisdom that you wanted to share, strength and truth that you could have shared with your surrounding, and no people wanted to listen. You were just a child maybe, and they had their ideas set in stone. It's usually like this. Children are like the latest upgrade from the divine, and the older generation is just baffled and think, oh, we need to shut up this kid because it seems like they are smarter than we are. It can't be good. I'm feeling threatened here. So you might not have been fully supported as a child, so therefore you have put a lot of your talents here in the basement, in the shadow, in prison. That's why so many girls are in love with people in prison, because their badass sides are stored in the basement region of your soul. But here you are kind of asked that, okay, now you're a little bit more grown up. Maybe you can become your true self now, please. So that's what's asked of you. So I called the 4 archangels in the 4 corners of the world. I'm sorry if I'm losing my track with the prayer, but it's hard to remember sometimes. And here we have another 4 of swords. Remember where I were. Okay. 4 of swords, 4 of cups. 4 of swords is a thinking mind. You're not happy with any outcome. You're not happy to engage in whatever you are asked to engage in, and you're not happy with not engaging. So I'm feeling like I'm really irritated, like my nervous system, especially in my back and my neck, is irritated. I didn't want any of this, like why did this come to me here and right now? And the answer is, well, it's your shadow, so you need to deal with it, but you don't want to. So for a source might be silent treatment, like refusing to talk to someone because you're so irritated, they irritate you. You might not know exactly why, since they are representing your shadow. So it's just like they are irritating dot. You have no more description of this, and that's usually so. We can irritate ourselves to death on other people, and if we find out what we are so irritated with, it's usually like something that we ourselves need to develop. If there's a person being immensely like cruel, I need to take something more specific. Okay, so you have a racist in front of you. Maybe you need to look more at your own scrutiny. Okay, sometimes it can be that you just you can't swallow everything, okay, and just be like super altruistic all the time. Maybe then you will be a victim of a perpetrator. And on the other hand, if you're super scared of strangers and are really like a racist, you probably are super scared of your own shadow. Like there's something with you that you just can't love, okay? It's something that you want to cut it off, like you want to cut off your own arm. So that's usually about self-love. We can love a little bit too much, being too altruistic, because then we easily become codependent or a victim to other people that hasn't maybe developed as far with their love, or we can like totally not love ourselves and therefore be very angry and judgmental of other people. And here it's something like this is going on here, where we are freakishly scared, but we're also angry at this. We don't want to face it. No, thank you. Keep yourself out of this. I don't want to meet with you. So it's a refusal to engage with your own shadow. It might be, as I said, other people. It doesn't have to be you. So I call the 6 elements. And here we have the Princess of Swords and Cernunnos. So this seems to be the significator for this reading, your shadow, or like how your demons play so well together with other people, and what's irritating with them, or what you're drawn to. This can be like immense attraction to, that you're extremely attracted to a person that's acting in a way that you probably act in too. You just don't know it because it's in your shadow. For example, we can be like a non-racist, but still hate, for example, women or men. So we can still be extremely racist. It's just that we have another like area where we're acting like this. If you want to figure out what's going on here, you can do Byron Katie's The Work. It's mainly about writing down everything that irritates you with another person, and then write the story again, but write your own name. So it's super funny. I usually laugh out loud when I do those kind of exercises, because I recognize myself, not usually in the, I can be very irritated on one person doing something, but then when I write all the things that they do, I see that this is something I do myself, but in another area, maybe with my poor children, or the school teachers. So okay, but the Princess of Swords it's a truth sayer. Like you can't really shut her up. So someone is going to come like a piercing mosquito and just say it, because this probably wants to wake up your inner child. So everything that's happened here is not for a bad thing. It's more like you're being rescued. You are being rescued to become the person that you were when you came, before you were domesticated and taken away. As I said, you were the latest upgrade from the divine, but probably adults were degrading this wisdom that you came with, and you have now put it in the shadow, and now you need to take it forward again. So it might be someone on the outside being like a mosquito in your life, not letting you forget who you are, not letting you slip into oblivion again and forget about this. It's a little bit of a wound, of course, as well, because it's like some part of you has been ripped away from you and put where the sun don't shine. Okay, so in the shadow. So 6 elements: earth, wind, fire, water, spirit, and ether, to join us here today and to give us a clear view reading for my dear Taurus viewers. So I want my dear Taurus to have love in their lives and to find themselves in loving relationships. I also want you to have creative success and to be able to walk on your highest path towards your highest destiny. So, my dear Taurus, I will just tune into your energy and the timing, September, for a few seconds. So, this is your future. So, going into October there. And this is your now, so September, and this is probably summer. So in the summer we have the Two of Pentacles. So Two of Pentacles is a kind of a difficult card. It's a transition period you are going through, and you don't know which leg to stand on. It can be a lot of change happening in your life. We can see like a ship here going under in the waves, like a relationship maybe, or a situation of some sort, a work, an occupation, a family situation, a house, something that isn't working in the way that it did before because it wants to change. Sometimes we can see the snake of change between those, like in a symbol of 8, biting its own tail, which is kind of representing the wheel of fortune, that now things are changing because it wants to heal, or it wants to go back into the old patterns so you can heal them, okay? So in this situation, we usually don't feel very well. We feel unsettled. We have a very hard time finding inner peace. But it's a step-by-step change. We put one foot in front of the other and the situation will improve. It's not like it's bad. It's just very hard to live in, like in hanging in the mid-air, not knowing how your future is going to be. So sometimes if we are very controlling, we don't like change like this, and we can feel very unsettled. But a person that's kind of don't mind whatever happens will take this transition phase step by step and put one foot in front of the other, and trust whatever is happening, because we are only here for a short period of time as souls. We are like leasing our body. It's just a loan, and you will have to give it back. So everything that you own in this lifetime, like 100 years from now, it will either like be just ashes, or it will be in someone else's possession. We have a Swedish singer that was saying, in 100 years someone else will have your share. So that might be it. They are sitting in your share. So whatever is happening here is fine, because it's like a practice, because you're going to have to give everything away eventually anyway. So you can at least start practice. This you can see with the Egyptian Book of the Dead, the Tibetan Book of the Dead. People are practicing. So when they actually die, they won't be totally freaked out and running around like ghosts and not be able to go towards the light, because they didn't practice on change and to let go of things that's no longer yours, because your journey is taking you elsewhere right now. So Two of Pentacles in sun settling, but you are guided step by step into a new reality. And we shouldn't judge our reality. We can feel a lot of nostalgia for what we had, and what we seem to have now might be so much more boring or unfulfilling, but it's probably exactly what we need. If things are boring, it's usually because we need to look more inside of ourselves, talk more to God, so things will be boring on the exterior. If we need to develop in duality, because the Two of Pentacles is duality, we will probably meet a lot of people and rub up against them and have like difficulties maybe with a lot of relationships, and that might not be boring, but it might be difficult. So sometimes the boring times is also vacation, so take time to enjoy it, because it might not last, okay? And here we have the now. So, and here we have the Lord. So the Lord is the one. It's the head. It's the man, the myth, the legend. So it's the masculine archetype. It's someone might be like very all that I said about the force, like a person wanting to dominate their own kingdom, have control over their own life. They can't really take change. And you can see this with, this is a major arcana card talking about big cycles. So all empires have to fall. And what is happening then? 13, death, 1 + 3, 4. So all empires is going to go into the ground, and we are going to say, no, this civilization we have now is the first one. We don't remember any other. It has been like a shooting arrow up in the sky. So, and we are first, and a little bit stupid sometimes because we live with this forgetfulness or amnesia. But this person thinks that this is going to last forever, and I'm sure, and they are going to live forever, immortal, for like in this state. So they usually don't invite in new things, because this can actually change the perception that they have of having control. If they take in new things, invite like new people in their kingdom, or change the way that they do things, maybe change the place where you are employed or who you are married to or whatever, it might be very unsettling, because it feels like your civilization is going to fall. But the Lord here can actually be a great help in this, if you can use the adult aspects of the Lord, heighten its frequency so it vibrates a little bit higher, and becoming the king, like having your body as a kingdom. Then you can go out in the world here and be the king everywhere. Like in every change you can be like cool and accepting, like this is what's happening, and this is the teaching that death comes with to the Lord. So it's something like this that's going on in your life, to live and let live, and own and let go, and get new things, and also know that this won't last, and having like a really bad transformational experience, and also know that this won't last forever. So if it's very excruciating and painful, you can put up goals like, okay, I will take this transformational period 6 months more, then I need to make up my mind what I'm going to do for a living, or how I'm going to house myself or whatever. And until then, I can live in this a little bit more like unsettling situation. But so you can put goals for yourself. That's very helpful when we have the Lord. He's very good at setting up goals and stubborn enough to reach them. So it's a supporting energy, as long as you remember to not like grasp to things like your last clinging to something. Live and let live, and let go of things that doesn't want to be yours anymore. And here we have the World card. So the World card is talking about big things being put in its right place. So you walking on your highest path towards your highest destiny, for example. And it's 21, so it's the lady, connected to the lady, 2 + 1, 3. So we have like the divine masculine here, in not in the shape of death, but in the shape of like 3D male, for example. And here we have the divine feminine, not as a 3D female, but as a very highly vibrating godly energy, like death. So if this is the central sun, and this is death, so it's like ever-changing world, death and rebirth maybe. So it's two different energies, but they are kind of operating on two different frequencies. So it might be that the divine masculine inside of you is a little bit longer behind than your feminine side. It might be that your feminine side has developed to higher levels, but you still have the masculine side like a little bit dragging after for some reason. It might be this with having a hard time letting go, or wanting things in a certain way, or not being able to let in new things. So it's something here. And even if it's mirrored in someone else, it's usually talking a lot about you as well. So we need to, it's very hard, it's very frustrating as well to try to see your own shadow. But this work with Byron Katie might actually help and give you a good giggle also in the same time. So this is your past, and we have a 6 of Swords. So it's some kind of truth, like realizing some kind of truth. It's also It's also transition, like going from one point that might have been like unsettling and wavy or stormy for quite some time, and actually coming to a little bit like a more peaceful place, or getting things more in like coming into more of a rest, like not so unsettled waters. The Six of Swords is going over the river Styx to meet your maker. So it might be this situation where you look back at your life and you're seeing how things, like things that went very well and things that could have been done better. So that will give you some kind of inspiration or hope that, well, this time I can fix it, I can do it better, because now I have practiced so many times and I know more, and I had this epiphany here, so I want to try, I want to do this better. So it's almost like you have had a near-death experience and realized one thing or two about how you want to live your life. So it's like the heart is speaking its truth here. And then we have also High Priestess. So the High Priestess is very keen intuition, like you listening very keenly to your spirit guides and your emotions, and they are leading you very much step by step. It's another two, so one foot in front of the other, and really having the antennas out. And even if it's very hard sometimes to believe in all the things that we feel or the signs that we get, you don't have to jump on board with everything. You just have a lookout, look for the signs, take notice, maybe even write them down, and when it's consistent enough, you move in that direction. So it's you don't have to be like all spacey and yes, my spirit guides told me I needed to eat only grass for a whole week. No, it might not have been that way. It's like we can easily be lift anchor and fly away. I'm not saying that this is a problem. It's not a problem, but it can be a problem for you if you believe that your intuition is this illusionary or flaky, so you might not trust it. So try to take it seriously, but more listen than act with it, so that you can know the next step more thoroughly. So I think it feels like a situation where you need to learn to trust your own instincts, and you want your whole you on board, not just one whimsical archetype, but all on board. So therefore you might need to want to listen clearly to the signs and not make like a final decision that you either will believe it in or not. Just keep an open mind. So we can see she has a very open mind here. But in the same time, the High Priestess is relentless. She is very much like she's loving herself. She's respect herself fully. If you would cross her, she would probably give you a slap over your face. So she doesn't like irritation, like people irritating her. So you might have those kind of feelings too, that it's something, I can't really get to it exactly what the feeling is, but it feels like maybe having you don't have the tolerance for everything right now, or it depends on when you're watching. This is probably August, for example, and if you're watching in August, this might be happening now. And here you have a King of Swords. So the King of Swords is someone that has a very strong warrior archetype. So Six of Swords, High Priestess, King of Swords, it feels like a person that have figured it all out. They don't want to live with these unsettling feelings or ever experience ship going under like this ever again. So now they have learned to keep their crap together. So this is a person being like very, very rational, but in the same time very hooked up to the divine, but they might be using it so that they can protect themselves, being very, very protective. The King of Swords is like a person like the master of a tribe in the Stone Age that wouldn't go outside the cave because they might find like a warrior tribe outside there, or mountain lions, or something else like that's dangerous. He has so many he has seen so much and been through so much, so he's very seasoned, and he also feels a lot of responsibility, so he doesn't want anyone to get hurt or anything go wrong or anything fall out of the ordinary, so he will be like in the highest amount of control, and therefore the space in which you can maneuver might become very limited because he has it all figured out. So if you ask him, well, can't we do things in this way? No, it won't be, we won't be able to do that because then it will have this consequence. Okay, you say, but if we try it this other way, no, it won't work, but because then this other consequence will come, and you will say, but this, you surely can't shoot this idea down, because if we do like this, it would be wonderful. No, that won't work because I have already seen it and it will go right like this. So it's a person are so sure on their intelligence and what they have seen and how they understand the world. So they have very hard time to take in new ideas. It's not saying that they are dumb. It's saying that they are maybe a little bit too smart. Okay, so they can see every consequence. They can't really act like with the more like the fool's energy of doing things just for the fun of it, because the fool doesn't care if, well, we take this old car and we are going to go to Grand Canyon. The King of Swords is going to say, but the old car is not going to make it all the way. The fool will say, oh, that will be an adventure. Think if it will break down somewhere and we will have to, rent a donkey or go, or maybe we will have to, stay somewhere in a village for several months before we can afford to buy a new car, and we need to work somewhere with new people, and the King of Swords will have already fainted while the fool will be so excited for this adventure. So it's some energy like this that's very you can't really engage it in this what you want them to do, because they have seen it all and they don't like it. Okay, so there you have your comfort zone right there, and it comes out of smartness, kind of like being able to calculate the next step and the next step and everything that will happen, and like it's like a computer, but it's a very like a computer without the sense for adventure. Okay. And here in the now, we have a Princess of Cups. So Princess of Cups is love, and love kind of overrules everything, because if you are this person here and you don't want any disturbance in your life because you don't like to be out of whack or in some kind of transition phase, you know what you have but you don't know what you are going to get. The Page of Cups is very hard to resist, because it's like a longing being waked inside of you, or you're watching through your curtains on that person walking down the street every morning at the same time, looking so darn attractive. And this longing it wants to lure you out of this comfort zone. It wants to take you on some kind of adventure. Love might be the most frightening adventure of all, because we lose control when we are in love. We can't have control over our feelings and our thoughts anymore. It will be preoccupied with this person, and this person might not even be right for us, and it might not be at all what we have calculated, so we get really freakishly scared of love. But love asks you to follow, as Khalil Gibran says in The Prophet, even if the wings, the swords that hidden underneath his wings might hurt you. Because that is going to be for your spiritual growth, and this person here might grow in their own accord together with the divine, but they're still like haven't moved outside their cave, so there's a lot more to see and experience. And here we have a Ten of Wands. Ten of Wands is a situation where a person has, like their natural being is wanting to come through, your soul or love, for example, but you have decided you're overruling your instincts. So it's like sitting on the lid to a coffin, and inside the coffin is like all your love or all your longing for adventure, or the things you want to say to people, or even anger can be there. 10 of Wands, it's 10 of fire, so it's like a big forest fire. But this person is, you know, so good that they are controlling this forest fire, and we can see how it's burdening him. He's taking responsibility. He's not going to be an animal just bursting out with his love with a boombox on the street or, you know, he's not going to be the fool in this situation. He's going to hold on and hold on, even if this frequency vibration that wants to express itself through him will kill him in the process. So this might be rather painful. It's almost like a volcano being prevented from erupting. So 10 of Wands, it's how we have a natural expression, but we overrule it with reason and logic. This person, for example, might want to sit like in the sun, maybe with his feet in a river, and, you know, look at the butterflies and think about the world. But instead he is working this hard because he's a little bit of a squirrel mentality, carrying home wood to his cave maybe. So it's different ways of living life that seems to clash here. And here we have the Ferret. So I'm laughing because this is Sagittarius, very hot longing, great attraction, like two people being very attracted to each other, but their shadows are like their shadows is their demons play so well together. So it might be that this person here is all about feelings, like, oh, I feel this, I love you, so we need to walk down the road here, and it's butterflies and like the Fool a little bit. And this person here, they are maybe in love, these two, and this person here says, oh no, God, I can't feel my emotions, because that would, you know, cause me to fall out of balance. And I have perfectly balance here. I'm living in my own created logic heaven. So I don't want this love from you, and you can't never speak about this love again, because I have decided. Okay. But what these two are supposed to learn, I guess, is that the Page of Cups here are supposed to be more logic and reasonable. And the King of Swords probably needs to open their heart. So they are very not the same person, and that is what's making them so attractive to each other, because they recognize, oh, there I am. That's the part of me I have forgotten. That's the part of me that I am not allowed to be. I am supposed to be very sweet and tender and have not a smart thought in my whole head. I'm supposed to be all lovey-dovey and, you know, open to everything and never be scared ever, because I need to be super brave for everyone and show vulnerability, because they are so scared they can't show vulnerability. So this is my mission, and I can't change that. I can't be like this. If I become like King of Swords, nothing will be, okay? Everything will be dead. The life will be like a desert. But maybe it would be like, if this didn't take so much responsibility for the feelings, maybe this person would feel more of their feelings, you know, be forced by love. Love is a very strong force out of their cave. So it's some kind of interesting thing is going on here. And it doesn't have to be two different people. It usually is. But if you're very much living in your square, it might be two different archetypes within you. One that's longing for the like fresh air outside, and one that wants to stay where they are because it's the safest. So the Lord. So one person needs to go outside their kingdom, and the other person probably needs to get a kingdom. So it's a little bit like that. One needs to get boundaries, and the other one needs to lower theirs a little bit. Could be good. Okay. So in the now, what I'm seeing is that there's a beautiful chance for something, but our natural fears are preventing us from exploring this possibility here. But life, this is like, all this is kind of your soul coming through and wants to be expressed through you. So it's going to overrule you in the end anyways. And here we have the Three of Swords. So of course the person, it's very unfair, because the person here that feels their feelings is of course the one that's going to carry the hurt. The other one is so totally safe there in their cave or on the mountaintop, they don't have to feel a thing because they have closed off their emotion, and that was the reason to why they became like this in the first place. They don't have to feel pain. This person that's a little bit more brave has the possibility to feel pain and will probably feel a lot of pain in this situation. Why on earth am I attracted towards this? Why do I want to do this when it seems like impossible? We can feel a little bit stupid, actually, and like we are, we like to torment ourselves. Like, of course, I needed to fall in love with this person here, dried up old man or prune. It depends. So, okay, with the Three of Swords, it's usually a very old pain here. It's not fresh and new. It's like an old pain. It's almost like a bear's claw here, and it's sharp claws and a heart. So what I'm thinking is that's a good thing. The feeling of injustice, of being the only one with an open heart, is going to trigger your inner bear, okay, to protect yourself better and to, not give it away for free. We might want to express our love and be very true to what we really feel, but the other person is kind of affected too of this, the same energy, maybe more so than you in this situation, since it might be that, since we have the divine cards here, might be focusing more on that person, astronaut lost in space. If the divine can't lure them out of their cave, it can't really make them grow spiritually wise either. More in theory maybe, but not in practicality. So it's like of a great importance for the divine to get this person to engage more in life. So if you engage more maybe with you here and take better care of yourself, like a bear mother protecting their children, maybe this will heal you as well in the process, like giving you a parent, the King of Swords, that you might need. This is more like a polar bear, but whatever. Sometimes we can dream freakishly scary dreams of, for example, a bear eating us. Let the bear eat you. It's your shadow wants to come home and take care of you. You will have the strength of the bear when the bear is done with you. So that's a good thing. And here we have Four of Pentacles. So Four of Pentacles is a difficult card in this situation, but I guess it's like the person that's most usually always getting so hurt is now deciding that they won't get hurt. I won't give my love away for free to someone that can't even feel the love. So I'm taking better care of me. The bear mother is home and she is actually living in a cave. So maybe you have, taken someone else. You saw that someone else were acting in a certain way and you learned from them. So I'm thinking it's a semi-good thing, but I'm really a little worried since we have the High Priestess, the Ten of Wands, the Four of Pentacles. So it's an ongoing stubbornness here. A person that thinks that they have things figured out, that they already come to the mountaintop and they don't even have to look down. They're already living the dream. They don't, but they think they do. And they want to like protect this forever and ever. They don't want to be exposed in the way that the divine wants them to be exposed. So it's a little bit of a fight here, but you don't have to mind that so much. If you are more this person, you more have to focus on taking better care of you. And also the hurt and pain that comes when maybe one person is totally rejecting their natural feelings and expression. So that can be very painful. So isn't the love that they have for you enough so that they can tell you that they love you and walk this loving way with you? But obviously it's not. They are very selfish, to be honest. This person is very selfish. If it's you, you are very selfish. You think that you don't hurt people by sitting on the mountaintop and being totally like unavailable, but actually it's a very big statement that these other people around you, they are not worthy of your attention. You don't give them attention because you are scared, but they don't know that. They just see you with this snarky face sitting here and acting like you don't care. So if you think that you are insignificant, saying hello to the person next door is not what you need to do, because they don't see you. They see you. They notice that you don't say hello. They notice that you don't open up to them. So they think that you do this because you sit on your high horse and you don't care. So it's a lot of like non-love in this situation here. It's only protection, like self-protection. I'm not judging you. I'm just trying to lecture you a little bit so you will come out of your hibernation and live a little bit. Okay. And here we have the Ten of Cups. So I'm saying to you that we have both the Ferret here and Ten of Cups. Both are with this rainbow. It's probably not going to be as easy as this, even if what it's saying is kind of that if you are dealing with a very high and dry person, they probably love you underneath surface, but it's their thing. You don't have to, pretend that you feel it. If a person loves you a great deal, they need to show it. If they don't show it, it's not there. But this is kind of a little bit of a tell that it is there. But I don't want you to spoil another person by, well, they love me. I have seen it in Queen of Cups cards. So I know that they love me. It doesn't matter that they don't show me love, because I know that they love me. Well, they need to express the love for you to really know that it's there. And if you kind of just take it for granted, they will be able to stay in hibernation, and they can make you take responsibility for all the love in the relationship. And that's not a good thing. But the telltale here is that they do love you, and kind of love you forever. It's very sweet and lovely here. This is the second card for love. It's the alchemic wedding. And here we have the Ten of Cups. It's the card that comes for soulmates and people like that's supposed to marry or live forever together in this lifetime, and also like love that will survive death. So you see the rainbow. It's very hopeful, and it's another 10. You have the 10, the wheel, and 10 of wands and 10 of cups here. So the love will prevail, and that is what the divine is set out to see to, that this is happening, but it will be a little bit of a fight. But if you make this, if you're able to do this, like the person that's usually so open and loving can learn to love themselves and not give it all away for free. And the other person that's used to love themselves so much and not care about other people, maybe can open up and show their love and being brave enough, then your mission is done. Like the old karma is healed and everything has leveled out, and it's freedom, and it's like this peaceful morning when the water is totally clear and mirroring like the rainbow from the storm before. It's very beautiful. It's a very beautiful feeling. It's like entering paradise. And how you have entered paradise is just by cultivating yourself, getting to know yourself and being able to withstand whatever kind of feelings that's inside of there, and still be able to take really good care of yourself and nurture yourself. Even this person needs to love themselves as they're walking downhill, and every step where they are almost getting a panic attack, they need to say, okay, I can turn around at any moment. I'm free to do whatever I want. So I don't have to stay if I get a panic attack. So we can do things like gradually. We don't have to throw ourselves off the cliff. We can do it step by step. It is possible that you are feeling as if you are carrying the weight of responsibility or obligation on your shoulders. Over time, your enthusiasm and energy has helped to create relationships, a working environment, and a home that all require attention and make demands upon you. Although you may not have consciously created many of these demands, they may be the result of initiatives which you set in motion without a great deal of thought, with the characteristic impulsiveness and willfulness typified by wands and the elements of fire. So I'm thinking this is one side. This is probably King of Swords side of things. Like if you don't get a girlfriend, you don't have so much trouble. If you don't get a dog, you don't have to go out and on these endless walks. If you don't buy a house but you rent, you don't have to clean the gutters. If you are like not climb the ladder of career. No one is going to give you so much responsibility. So it's like the other side of things. You can understand how someone else thinks, or maybe this is how you think. Around you are the results of your efforts, even perhaps of your success, but you feel unable to relax fully and enjoy them because you have so much to do. A project you initiate may have developed into something much greater or more complex than you originally envisaged, for example. You may well accept your perceived burden with a mature attitude of responsibility and without complaint, and only attempt to change the situation if it becomes intolerable or if it cataclysm triggers transformation. This card may signal the dangers of burnout, overwork, or the obsessive pursuit of power, achievement, status, or recognition. You may need to learn how to delegate and to begin reassessing your priorities and your values, putting what truly matters first in your life. So I think this is what this person have done here. They have really prioritized so they will live a happy life without any problems. But life is sometimes also you need to have a little bit problems, like relationships. If you live without them, your life is high and dry, and not so much problems. But if you live with them, you can experience love as well. Restore and replenish. Oh, I don't have the okay. I obey. I have read this card so many times now, so I'm a little bit bored with it. But if this is the message you need to hear, it's the message you need to hear. Okay. So, you are in need of something so much deeper than rest. You need restoration, replenishment, and revival. This will not necessarily come from lying about somewhere, taking a moment out of your day or evening activities. You are more likely to gain what you need by breaking with your routine completely and doing something different. You need some variety, some spice, some change to bring fresh energy into your body, mind, and heart. You need to restore and revive yourself by changing the usual flow of energy through your being. You could stimulate this process by going to a different place, meeting different people, and taking different action to what you would usually do. You can return to your regular routine in time if it feels good for you. However, it is now time to move without pushing yourself beyond what is known, comfortable, and familiar. This oracle also comes as a message from the great loving guardian, which is life itself. You have been working so hard and have accomplished so much already. However, you often sell your accomplishments short and focus on how much more is yet to be done. Life is telling you that it is time to put down the paintbrush, the pen, the endless list, and thinking mind, and get into your body. Take the time to experience yourself in and of nature. Remember how to just be. In doing so, even for a relative short amount of time, you will feel more of yourself and ready for the next phase. You might be surprised what just a day or two of this can do for you. Restoration does not have to be long and involved process, especially if it's attended to when needed. This oracle is also a confirmation that you are in an important transition phase between one level of experience and the next. If you feel as though you are treading water or are in a sort of purgatory, somewhere between your old life and your new life, then this particularly applies to you. If you can quite break into the level you are reaching for, have faith. You are just taking a breather between races. Soon you will have the power and energy you need to reach for the next level and succeed. If you have been considering a new endeavor or have recently started one, then this oracle brings a message of encouragement. Yes, this is a good step forward for you. You might be worried that you are taking on too much. You are encouraged to take time to rest and rebalance yourself, but you are supported in your need for new and different experience to refresh your spirit. You may let some of these new adventures go once you have gained what you need from them. However, they are useful now. You are encouraged to trust yourself and to know that you are working consciously to meet your own needs, and this is healthy and this is good. If you have been under the weather, you will soon be well again. If you have been working on healing your body, mind, and soul, this oracle comes with assurance that what you are doing is working and bringing you benefit. Even if you are yet to experience the full extent of that benefit, continue with your work and know that you are indeed healing. Okay. So, my dear Taurus, thank you for watching this far, and for all of you that's liking, commenting, and subscribing to my channel, I'm forever grateful. I also want to welcome you back to my mid-month September reading that I will perform in the beginning of September. It might well be the last mid-month reading I will do, because it's only like half amount of people watching, and I'm also fully booked with personal readings to the end of September, so I don't take in new clients for the moment, and I might need more times to take care of my clients. Okay, so I hope that is not too selfish of me, but it has been something that I have kind of tried to avoid since spring, when this first came as a very clear message for me through several different sources, but I have hanged on and keep on doing them. But I see now that the viewers is getting lesser and lesser to these mid-month readings, so I'm thinking that that's the final sign that I'm not supposed to do them. So I hope this helped. I want you to take really, really good care, and welcome back. Okay, bye bye.